Hey, how's everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday evening? I know I'll explain the StreamYards thing. I, I have been, giving feedback on the lives and on the tech issues that's been going on. So a little while ago, they reached out, tech support reached out. We ran through some things. They told me to give it another try. So let's see if it messes up or not. I mean, I'm not out nothing. You know what? I don't normally. I've only ever set a goal once, but I want to try it again. I asked you guys about it, and you didn't seem. Oh, just 10 super chats seems like a lot. I don't know. It does to me anyway. Um, but I'm gonna try the intro and see if it plays. If it don't, I'm just gonna shut it off. So I didn't do it right. Oh, this is weird. I have no idea what they mean by this. You have to set a timer? Oh, hell. Whatever. I don't under. I'll have to really look over that. I'll probably just take that off. But let's hopefully this intro will go at it. Sorry, there was no notice for this live, so I'm thankful that there's even anybody in here. I just decided to go live. Let's see if this works, and then I'll be back to say hey. Time is the essence. Time is the season. Time ain't no reason. Got no time to show. Time everlasting. Time to play these sides. Let me know sounds, guys. Time ain't on my side. Time will never know. Burn out the day. Burn out the night. Now I want to tell you what's wrong from what's right. I've seen suns that were freezing and lives that were blue. But I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you. Oh, that nobody said nothing in chat, so it played okay. So maybe StreamYard did something. Weegob, hey, it's so good to see you. Yeah, guys, please hit that thumbs up. I know this was just a pop up. I mean, I didn't give no notice or nothing. So I thank you all for coming in. Oh my gosh, Amy, thank you so much. Much love, Kathy P. Thank you, Amy H. Your third super. Wow. Thank you. Straight Talker, thank you so much for the gifted membership. Yep, you're a misfit like the rest of us. Welcome to Poolside. Hey, Step, not that Step. Don't side eye me. How are you? How are you doing? I hope all's good. Hey, Cali Cat. Hey, Thor. Hey, Hindsight. Hey, Catherine. Language of horses. Love it. Hey, Lollipop Girl. Rowdy, it's good to see you. Did you know Laugh started a channel? Hey, Brandon Barn. Hey, Sherry P. Hey, Patricia, it's good to see you too. Hey, Lovey. Broke cooter. We don't even have to play her. I just wanted to come live, honestly. I just wanted something for a thumbnail. I get it though. I thought about it after I posted the thumbnail. I'm like, how many people showed this today? Because I really haven't been on. I was at Queens this morning. That was one of the sweetest things I've ever seen on YouTube. Amy, happy birthday to you. I know I've said it in there and stuff, but I hope you had a great birthday. That was just all so sweet. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Ribbit Hop X. I love the name. Hey, Shauna. Doodle Mom. You walking the dog. I hear you. Hey, Dorsey. Hey, Lily Rose. Beautiful disaster. Hey, Britt. Britt, you did amazing in your speaking engagement. I think you did fantastic. Keep up the good work. You're going to be getting engagements, speaking engagements everywhere. Hey, Jan. Hey, J Dog. Good to see you. Little Lulu. Hey, Jay. Juno. Hindsight. Barry Meadows. Betty MCW in the house. Hey, Melinda. Please hit that thumbs up for me. It's a YouTube thing. And sub up if you're not subbed up. I'm trying to get to that 4,500. Hey, Marcy. Jujubee. Yeah, it was hindsight, wasn't it? Hi, all. Headache, but I will be listening. Oh, I hope your headache gets better. No, you didn't know that. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I just found out the other day. I seen it. J Dog, thank you so much. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Wow. Thank you. Hey, organized confusion. Hey, Jeffrey. Welcome to Poolside, everybody. You're a misfit like the rest of us. Oh, Doodle Mom got one. We got one. Yay. Poor gal. Buttercup. You guys are amazing. What I did want to say is I know the mods are being talked about unfairly, and it's wrong. Oh, Sarah, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for the $20 soup. Thank you. You guys are too much. Wow. Hey, SS. Hey, TX McKenzie. Crimson Moon. I understand if you don't want your wrench. You guys did nothing wrong. It was chaos. It was a total madhouse. And you did what you did. You didn't do anything wrong. And I'm tired of you being attacked for it. I am really sorry. That should have never happened. My live was not about none of that. That live was about me, and I was talking about my deceased son, and they turned it into a free for all. I'm really sorry. Hey, Kathy Clock the House. Hey, Erie. Hey, Kim. Good to see you, SS. Thank you, beautiful disaster. Oh, Sarah. Oh my gosh. 20 memberships? Wow. Thank you. Holy cow. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, I'm blown away. You guys are, thank you so much. Welcome everybody to Poolside. You're a misfit. Please thank Sarah. It's just, I don't like the mods being gone at for doing what they're supposed to do as a mod. And let's be honest, that's never happened in my chat before. It was a lot to deal with. There was multiple fights going on. People were fighting with saying shit to Clue. People were saying shit to MJ, to Joneson, to Queen, to Savage, and back and forth. Back. There were so many different things going. It was ridiculous. And I just thank you, mods. Thank you very much. Keeping it moving. What day? What was it? Like a week ago? Well, I don't remember what day it was, to be honest with you. Hey, Anise. Hey, Anise. Nice name. New subscriber. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was a while ago, but we were, unfortunately, he was mentioned in a creator's chat, um, which is not uncommon over there for them to talk about people's children, even though she still denies it. Even one of her mods have admitted they were in there, and other people have admitted they were in there. And, it's all, whatever. It is what it is. Hey, KCG. Hey, Remy. I just don't think the mods should be gone after they did nothing but do what they were supposed to do. Hey, Hope. And that's that. I asked people to stop. The mods asked people to stop numerous times. It is what it is. But it was no hate for anybody. It was no hate for anybody. It was no sides because I'm a neutral. I was a neutral channel. I didn't do that. I didn't take sides. What my fights? Oh yeah, yeah, KCG. She did. It was amazing. It was totally amazing. Okay, Thor. Thor, I'm so sorry. I really am. But you and Hope have really been. I'm sorry. Yeah, she had a good birthday. God bless her. No, we are not. I'm done with it, Thor. But I was notified by several people today with clips that there were some things said about you and Hope that they're going at my mods. Hey, we got an emperor in the house. Royalty. Hey, Aries. I speak your words and the world listens. My voice is a command, a testament to the power that courses through my veins. I love your comments, Aries, always. Gypsy trails keep on keeping on from one mom who lost to another. I understand. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, thank you. You get it. Hey, Chai. Can you imagine what's on Bullhorn's bucket list? I'm thinking federal prison is their goal. Any wages coming in, it's all the title. Oh my God, that would be an awful. YouTube streets are on fire, aren't they always? That would be an awful bucket list. Hey, Tammy, good to see you. Yeah, that would be. I wouldn't doubt it. KCG, you didn't do nothing. I just don't like people going after you guys because that's not right. Today, I my today was a beautiful day here. It just, I don't know, it seemed to drag out so long. I don't know, it was like, you have one of those days where the kids just want to fight constantly and they're fighting over Legos, they're fighting over TV, they're fighting over anything and everything. Yeah, it was one of those afternoons. But what looks like Iran is going to be attacking Israel yet again. Oh my lord. That's a whole sad situation. Hey, Carl. Eeyore, is that how did I say your name wrong or did I just totally ruin it? Oh, but welcome in. That went down the wrong way. Hey, let's be honest. Good to see you. How are you? So, one of the cases I know. Hey, Peanut Shell. Oh my gosh, you all heard about the squirrel Peanut, right? I cried. I, I always talk to you. I take care of my squirrels here. There was no reason to do that. Hey, sleuthing tater tot, to that squirrel or that raccoon. They didn't have to euthanize them. That was messed up, man. Yeah, I did. It made me. I've watched him, Peanut. He was oh, truly loved and very well taken care of. Oh, the time changes this weekend. Oh Lord, that'll really mess up. My kids don't. My little one, my youngest, he was all messed up with that time change last time for like a week. Yeah, I was crying. I was. Hey, Starry Night. Yeah, it made me cry. He was a good squirrel. Oh, but break my, I mean, mine aren't like that. They're still out in the wild, but they eat out of my hand and stuff in the yard. And they hang around most of the time in the yard. Um, I wished I was a black mama snake or a Nile crocodile. Oh, um, I just, it would break my, I cried when the snakes got mama squirrel. Well, I cried. There's no way. It was in New York. The guy's pets, and someone claimed that I guess the squirrel bit somebody or something. So they came and took the squirrel and the raccoon and immediately euthanized them. I was blown away. Yeah, I don't believe they did either. I think it was somebody just didn't want him having. Hey, Jim, didn't want him having them pets for some reason because they seemed to, it appeared from what we've seen that they were taken care of very well and they were healthy. I mean, that squirrel was healthy. The squirrel had a beautiful coat. It was healthy. Hey, Celia. We're in the palm trees and has his nuts hidden in there, and I enjoy watching him. Yeah. Oh, hey, Katie K. Yeah, it was sad. I cried. I was so upset about that. I didn't tell my daughter yet because she really liked Peanut. But I'll, give them peanuts, and after they have, if they're not hungry, they just bury them. And it's funny to watch them bury them, and then the damn crows come right on down. They sit up there and watch these squirrels bury their nuts. Damn crows come on down. swish that little bit of dirt off, and take them damn peanuts. It's like a whole thing. Hey Deb. Hey Melanie. Hey Black Sheep. Hey Celia. I think I said hey, but I'm saying hey again. Yeah, it broke my heart. Hey Wishful. D Rev Joe Folder. He's not been doing nothing, has he? A menace to my trees. I bet he did do a live today. Um, it's not a very. I don't. I'm not interested in a lot of it. There was just a couple highlights, but I really wanted to go over that MMO stuff that video. We've never got to go over. Um, we can do that first, or we can do the little bit of Betty first, and then do the MMO. What do you? I'll let chat decide. Butter. Yeah, I haven't watched any. I'll cry. I can't. I'll cry my eyes out. I can't watch. I'll cry my eyes out. Oh no, it's not. It's not going to. The water's too cold. Thankfully, I don't think it's gonna. I'm gonna believe in my gut that we're too late in the season, and it'll just have to keep moving because the season's almost over. Hey, Kelly, go lightly. The felon allegedly. I think tomorrow's the last day for the one big farm, the next town over. They have the corn maze, then they have a smaller maze for the littles, and then they have a petting zoo, and they have all kind of games and bounce houses and stuff. Um, and I have a coupon too. See, I'm a couponer, for a discount because it's like $15 a person to get in. Um, and then they have a corn pit. Believe it or not, playing in that corn is a hell of a lot better than playing in the sand, and the kids love it. I I'd do it, except the deer would just live in my yard eating it. No, no. Um, I'm I think I'm gonna take them there tomorrow. I want to get them out of the house. I want to do something with them. Hey, KB. No, they wanted to go to a movie, but I think it'd be better to do something outdoors. SF responded. Response led back to VHB on X on what when she was talking about him this morning. Oh, he responded on. I haven't been on anything. He responded on Twitter. Hey, Jessica. Like I said, I was there and I didn't even think I was going to make it to that party, because I had some things planned, but plans change sometimes, and it's okay. I was glad it did. Really, I was just a little late, but I very little, but I got to be there, and I was glad because Amy's so sweet. And to see a bunch of people, a bunch of come on, a lot of them are strangers, um, band together like that. It's after everything else goes on, it was sweet. Oh, oh, I'm gonna show this. Yeah, this is in response. So a lot of you probably, well, if I don't show the live, you, some of you might not know, but Betty read this report about SF from 2022 on her live, where a disgruntled client had, of course, things to say. You'll find that pretty much anywhere. I'm not familiar with, it's not my business what it's about, but you all know she's been going hard at SF for months, and honestly, it truly has nothing to do with Sebastian's case. It's Betty's despise and hate for him all over her not wanting or him refusing to do an interview with her back in the Kylie Rodden days. So, replaying from the beginning at 1.5 specials to catch up. Much love and respect. Oh, thank you, Daz. Oh, thank you for the 1999 super. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Thank you. Okay, where'd my chat go? Okay. They just took my chat away. All right. I want to show this, though, and read it to you. And I'll do the chat this way. But thank you so much, Daz. I appreciate that. It's been so Betty ooh, I think she's just losing it. Losing it. I mean, I'm wondering, and I don't know this because I'm not her and I'm not her attorney. However, I'm wondering if there was a disagreement between her and her attorney. Because I just, hey, Mel's Bells. Hey, Celia. I just, I really think she's going to have a hard time with any attorney because she's Betty. I mean, what else can you say? She's Betty. All right, where'd the article go? I just had it brought up. Okay. Why did it downsize? It shouldn't have. Okay, it says today, Bullhornbetty read an incoherent letter from a man I had to sue a few years ago. JP, aka Justin Pincus. In response to my lawsuit, he submitted a completely unhinged, rambling letter to the court. I filed a motion to have it struck, and the court granted it. Describing his letter as long, tiresome, tedious, prolix, involved, and loosely drawn, this is why Bullhornbetty can't show receipts. His response was a desperate attempt by a mentally ill individual spanning over 200 pages where he complained about my lack of appreciation and friendship for him, despite the fact that I don't know him. It's curious. She kept saying another highlighted section. It was not highlighted to the court. So obviously, defendant Justin Pincus provided this to Bullhornbetty. Justin Pincus never answered my lawsuit and defaulted. He lost like losers do, unlike Bullhornbetty. I'll provide receipts. Up around and find out. Betty. Betty. Oh, honey. We got receipts. And right there it is. Upon the following, he filed papers on the motions to correct the pleading and dismiss notice of motion / order to show cause and supporting papers by plaintiff, filed February 10th, 2023, answering affidavits and supporting papers by defendant, filed February 16th, 2023. And it gives you all the dates: notion of motion, order to show cause, March 23rd, 2023, answering affidavits and supporting papers by plaintiff, which would have been SF, filed March 23rd, 2023, replying affidavits and supporting papers by defendant, filed April 13th, 2023, and after due deliberation, it is ordered that these motions are consolidated for the purpose of this determination. And it is further, and that's all it gives you. It doesn't. Where's page 2? That's page 1. Where's page 2? I guess there is no. Okay. All right. Well, and then it goes on to this one. Here, Pincus, 198 page first amended answer, plus the 55-page writer there too, largely consists of a rambling narrative of alleged wrongdoing by Fisher. And it lists legal cases, such that Fisher cannot reasonably be expected to respond to it. Indeed, the time of the court should not be taken in a prolonged study of a long, tiresome, tedious prolix involved and loosely drawn pleading in an effort to save it. Another case well cited. Quotation marks and citation to make. In addition, Pincus's first amended answer and writer thereto do not comply, and it tells you what it doesn't comply with, CPLR 3014. Accordingly, Fisher's motion is granted to the extent that Pincus shall serve an amended pleading containing a more definite statement of his counterclaims. Now listen, what's this say? Who's this sound like? Oh, Wishful, thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate. Wow, you guys are so. I made my goal. Thank you, and I'm stuck on top chat. Now, who does that sound like? Who keeps filing hundreds of pages every time in her frivolous lawsuit? Who rambles on in the lawsuit and makes it very long and tiresome, rambling, makes all these accusations? Who does that? Who else is doing that in a lawsuit right now? And has been ordered by the court to serve an amended pleading containing a more definite statement. Pretty much what that's one of the things the judge has with Betty is she's basically doing the same thing. And she did never do her bill of particulars. This sounds so much. Is he coaching Betty? Is he helping Betty? Because it sounds so much like Betty's frivolous locale lawsuit. And it lists the different statutes, and it says it consists of plain and concise statements. Okay, allegations, right there, give adequate notice of material. Yeah, this is all that's and is otherwise denied and moot. But from what I understand, and then he put that on there. From what I understand, he did not sue SF. SF filed suit against him. SF was the actual plaintiff, not the defendant. It does, doesn't it, Jay? Twinsies. It really does. Crazy. When I seen that, when I was reading, I was like, I was like, are you kidding me? It sounds just like Betty's frivolous crap. I mean, I know. Hey, Rebel Soul. Hey, Petty Crocker. I've spent a lot of time reviewing it on here. We reviewed the lawsuit, parts of the lawsuit, and I took the time to go out and find the video clips to show what really happened with Betty's so-called evidence that she submitted as proof, and none of it was anywhere near what she stated. They were separated at birth. Oh my God. Is Voices still in here? If anybody wants to come up, I'll drop the link. Nobody has to, though. I understand if you don't want to. Trust me. I'll drop the link. But she said some stuff. Her and this communist county stuff. What the hell? But Betty's saying pineapple upside. That's what I want to show you. Pineapple icicle tree did a good video and caught Betty in yet another lie. Because remember, I don't know if you remember, but oh my God, it's probably been a year ago, maybe longer, but she said it many times. Betty has said that and she said that many times. But then, she did where she came from Skid Row, hence her new name, Little Skid Row. But then she says today, and this is out of today's live, this was one of the sections I was going to show you, but I'll do it through Pineapple because she did a good job and I like her and she makes good videos. But that's all right, Voices. Get your craft done. Okay, here we go.
A lot of money. We weren't like rich, but we weren't, we weren't living in a shoebox. Okay. I didn't have a golden spoon in my mouth, but I had a brass spoon in my mouth. I did.
So she changed it.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
The stuff that they were able to do to a 15-year-old boy, they're not going to do to a 44-year-old, straight out of Skid Row, made their life and did what they had to do. And now take what they've got out there and help others. You ain't going to break somebody like that because I had already been broken.
We came from a lot of money, not a lot of money. We weren't like rich, but we weren't.
Now, do y'all remember that live? Several people reviewed it where Betty said she came right out of Skid Row. But see, there was several times in the past, hey Skip, that I have no idea, Skip. I have no idea. Hey, Kentucky Cooter. She said always said she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Then she did that live saying she was, I think Betty forgets hey, Jeffrey, what she says because she talks so much crap. I don't think she can remember what she says. Yeah, she is. But everybody coming in, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. That's a YouTube thing, not a me thing. But even though I enjoy it too. And sub up if you're not subbed up. I'm going to get 4,500. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to 5K. I'm going to get there. I'll get there. I started with none. And look where I'm at. I'll get there. But there's another part of her live I want to show you. I don't want to go through the whole thing because it'll just piss everybody off. And I want everybody to have a good Saturday night. Breaking, Sebastian Rogers. How many more lies? Tennessee. How many more? And, you know, Layla's been missing for a while. So now, Jen would never go on Betty's panel, on Betty's channel. Hey, Pineapple, just showed your video. I'll be dropping her link in the description. But, Amon, can you please drop it in chat? Great video. And now that Betty is facing criminal charges, she knows what Betty's done to her family. Even seeing what Betty did in Georgia. She goes on Betty's panel after all this time. Gripness is real. Thank you, Starry Night. Betty didn't do anything to help her. If you call doing an alleged fake sighting of her daughter to drum up attention and views, I know because I reviewed that. Bringing a lot of drama to it, misinforming everybody. And even after law enforcement released their statement of fact, she still argued with them and said no. Yeah. I'm confused by that. But, okay. Okay. This is from this morning.
What a liar. What a liar, pants on fire. Nice to see
Who's
you,
a liar,
Stephanie,
pants on
Dawn,
fire?
Brenda, Michelle, Trace. Holy I got to party without y'all this morning. I decided to party without y'all this
She
morning.
thinks she's so cool.
We are Cody's voice. Good morning. I hope, how is that? You know what? I haven't even looked at Cody's, Cody Bigsby in a really long time. Make available Cody alert for missing and
I think Betty knows.
I love that. That's so being.
I think Betty's starting to realize, even though she's not going to admit it, she's starting to realize there's a good possibility she could get a few days in jail. And I think, in my opinion, that her lawyer informed her of that. I don't know.
Gravely injured for these type of alerts to come out, but I can't imagine any other better way to honor this child. And,
you're right, Lovey.
What a sad case that was. You know, his father seemed, in all fairness, a little overwhelmed. He had a lot of children to take care of, a lot of young children to take care of, plus work. Didn't have family around. Not that it's any excuse whatsoever. It's not. But it's just sad that, you know, it sounds like, once again, Child Protective Services had been involved in this child's life in the past prior to him missing. And these are, you know, some of the issues I have, because I'm going on a tangent and I apologize, but these are some of the issues that I have with these cases, is because there's just not enough being done. It seems to me that the Department of Children and Family Service many times are wrong. They take kids from good homes and leave kids in bad homes to be subjected to abuse and death. And it's really problematic, because I feel like sometimes
You're wrong, Betty. Is the system perfect? No. Is the system broken? Oh, hell to the yeah. It is so broken. But you're wrong.
They do, like, say, drug testing or something like that. You have marijuana in your system, and boom, your child's taken. Well, when you have verbal...
Betty, it's not that easy. Not that easy anymore. Hey, Lucia. Hey, Brian. One thing I can tell you, and that's because of years of experience working in the system, it don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter where you live. They're going to take your kids if they see fit to. If there is reason to take the children, they will.
Abuse, mental abuse, and some physical abuse that's not really showing up or in areas that you don't really readily see, those children get a free pass to stay with their abuser while they're focusing on something as low level as marijuana consumption. And, you know, and I'm not saying that that's the case here, but it's a case, it's a pattern that I've seen around this country, and it's really starting to wear on me. Why we're not doing more, why we're not taking these cases seriously, why are we judging people based upon what their how clean their house is, and you know, abuse, it happens everywhere. I can tell you, we live next to doctors, lawyers, car dealerships. Nobody knew what was going on inside our home. I had a lot of negative effects by the stuff that went on inside my home. I love both my parents. I know both my parents love me. I know they did better than, you know, their parents did.
Hey, Music City Mom, member for 1 month. Yahoo. Hey, you cat lady.
And you know, the cycle was broke with me and my sister. So there's a lot of good that came from my family, and but there's still some bad. I never felt I was in jeopardy of losing my life. I don't feel that I was in jeopardy of ever losing my life in my house. I had great parents that loved me. They weren't very nice or kind to one another, more so than I.
Now, how many? Never, Betty, you really don't remember the stuff you say because you've always said you came from an abusive home. I don't know. I'm just saying what you've said.
Us, you know, so. We came from a lot of money, you know, not a lot of money. We weren't like rich, but we weren't, you know, we weren't living in a shoebox. Okay. I didn't have a golden spoon in my mouth, but I had a brass spoon in my mouth. You know, I did. There's just a lot.
Hey,
and I think over time, you know, we're getting better as a society in identifying and notifying about abuse, but there's so much work left to do. I have a pet peeve where most of our children that we're searching for, that we perceive as deceased or missing, are coming from violent homes or homes that abuse them. And the Department of Children and Family Services were in that home, were monitoring the situation, but did not pull the child out of the home. And the child comes up missing. And it kind of, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I don't understand how it's so difficult to get it right. I look at these things. I'm a very black and white person. It's either happening or it's not. And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So I'm sorry, but I feel like in some of these cases, especially with better looking homes, they need to start realizing that abuse happens even behind those really nice home doors. And not that this was the case. I mean, he sounded like he lived in a decent area. I'm not sure. I never visited out there personally. I know of a person that I once associated with did some ground searches and stuff out there. And it looked like a fairly, you know, decent area for children. I could be completely wrong. But Danielle, that's Stepparent, and
please enjoy the first 3 minutes of my new movie, Am I Racist? The #1 documentary of the decade. Take a look.
Her pain that she goes through. I'm really sorry. Wow. Wow. Well, tomorrow's church, and we'll definitely be praying for you in church. Sheila, it's nice to see you. Ken, so do you. I thought after Harmony's case, we would be more serious about child abuse. Yeah, you would think. You would think that, you know, we and in policy and huge issues, but it's astounding that our federal government doesn't see it or doesn't fix it, or it takes an act of Congress just to get anything fixed. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. In our government, having to be told how to handle their business it's ridiculous. Why are we paying them if they can't handle their business? That's my point. I guess, sponsored. It's ran by the states. I don't know how the whole thing works. We need to dive into the children and family services and what goes on. There, Shelley, it's nice to see you. Good morning.
Listen, sister, I love that name. But Betty, you do not want to mess with the Department of Children and Families anywhere. And I know you won't do it here. Not the way you do things. First off, you've never been a foster parent. You have no idea anything about the system. In fact, you've never done anything to help any of them either. Just saying.
Robin, Gigi, Mr. and Mrs. Carr. It's nice to see you. Oh, no. Shout out. I know Merle's mom is still out. So I just wanted to say a big shout out. Hey, Southern. Using the same playbook, the followers, to its clients and all, to cause harassment, including.
Oh, this is what she's reading.
Telling him the defendant's false police report. Here's the highlight.
I'll let
this is
you
what it says. The defendant has not. There's a few excerpts from another legal case this investigator is involved in, and all of this public record. This guy really has been like this: defamation, doxing, blackmailing, death threats, relentless harassment, accusing people of DV, domestic violence, and being unemployed or mentally ill, threatens to have people arrested over nothing, terrorizes family of missing children, even accuses someone of falsely posing as law enforcement officer. He did the exact same thing this time around in this case, in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. So now we're showing a massive history. Like
a massive history, because somebody he sued wrote a letter like that to the judge. You're calling that a massive history. No, a massive history is more like yours. But okay.
This guy is doing this. This is not this is an unscrupulous PI. Is he licensed? Yes, he is. Is he legitimate? No, he's not. And I do believe 100% he lied on applications to get the licensing. And we will be getting to the bottom of it in due time.
You're not kidding. Y'all want to look at some of her? She has totally went bazonko. You are so right. Hey, Blaze. Hey, Bill C. If y'all want to watch a little bit of Laura, I'll be glad to put it on.
But what he's doing is unlawful. It goes against his PI license, and he's a disgusting individual. He's a disgusting individual that seems to always attack mostly women. So that should tell you how he feels about women. He's abusive. He's verbally abusive. And when he doesn't get his way, he tries to throw people in jail. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Betty, you attacked him. You went after his licenses, his business. You filed false complaints against him, which you didn't win. And you knew you weren't going to. But you lied to try to get him in trouble. All because he don't care for you and your shenanigans. You're behind the scenes dirty shit, Betty. Keep it up. You're going to be in another lawsuit. And I can tell you what, this one, you definitely won't win. You have defamed and slandered this man from one end to the other with anything you could come up with and what you could make up fast enough. You jealous because he does the real thing that you can't do. Find people. In my opinion.
Doesn't it? He also has complaints against his license in Tennessee too.
No, he doesn't. Betty filed false complaints and it was thrown out. It was rejected because it was bullshit. I wrote a comment. Yeah, I already read it. People are not thrown in jail unless they break the law first. Exactly. Betty thinks that he could just go around and say, hey, put him in jail, put him in jail, put him in jail. Yeah, I'm proud to be the extremely corrupted. If being against BHB makes you corrupt, then I'm proud to be an extremely corrupt individual. She does. Exactly, Mystery. That's where it all stems from. And then to her, it was a slap in the face that Layla Centinello's father and stepmother hired him, used him in the case, and wouldn't have nothing to do with her. Yep.
Years before becoming involved in Sebastian's case, but some reason it was ignored. One of those was mine, which was very well pled as well. This is insane. He has been involved behind the scenes.
He defaulted on his lawsuit. SF won because the dude did not. Hey, Haley Hopes, the dude defaulted. Hey, crazy B6. Uh-oh, she's really going to lose it over JLR's birthday gift to Magnolia. What is it, a ring? They get married? Or did he buy her a puppy or something? Or kitty? Does she know about the new puppy, Carolyn B? A puppy? Oh, she's gonna blow a gasket on a Sunday. It's gonna be Sunday nuts. Sunday crazies or nuts. The True Chroma case, Plunder versus Stephen Harlow is wild. Yeah. Well, plead and Betty are two terms that should never be used in the same sentence.
Since April, and he has a pattern. He's a common denominator, and he's absolutely the root of the chaos. So in this case,
the root.
This is what it says. The defendant has not filed any false defamatory police report because he's the plaintiff. He tried to negate his responsibility.
No, he didn't try to negate nothing. The dude, he filed a lawsuit and he had his reasons for it. You lied and said he was the one being sued. He wasn't.
Being in trouble because he's got, police reports filed against him.
He doesn't, Betty. It's all crap. That's why it was nothing. Just like your frivolous lawsuit, Betty.
So he did this. He thought he was smart by preemptively trying to sue this guy, right? And we all know who this man is, and we know that what he's saying, what the defendant is saying in this case is true about this unscrupulous, unethical, and unprofessional PI. It says the defendant hasn't filed any false police report. Here's the highlighted part. The defendant has filed legal and legitimate.
There was no highlighted part in the court documents, so you or him highlighted it. Just saying.
Police reports against the plaintiff for his continued stalking, harassment, threats, and doxing of his private information, including cell phone numbers, address, and real-time location. Sounds pretty familiar.
Sounds exactly like you. It sure does, Betty, because that's crap you pulled. So yeah, it sure does sound familiar. It really does. But don't you think if the guy had such a strong case, and this was a letter that was written to the judge by this character, if he had all this evidence and such a strong case, he would have showed up in court and, he defaulted, Betty. He defaulted.
Let's get over to the next highlighted area. It says the plaintiff continued to escalate his harassment, including threatening contact the defendant's clients and all. So he's not only doxing, but he's actually saying, I'm going to reach out to your clients and start telling him this. Does this sound pretty familiar, doesn't it?
Sounds all like you.
Plaintiff continues to escalate. Remember,
how
the
does
plaintiff.
It sound familiar? You're the one that's been harassing him, Betty. You. If I was you, I would thank your lucky stars that he has not filed a lawsuit against you like he said he was going to. He didn't say when, and he still has some time.
Is
you
this
keep
unscrupulous?
digging yourself a deeper hole, just slandering away and defaming his character and his job, his career. I don't know, Beds. You might need another legal fund. And Betty, your GoFundMe is not legit. If you go by terms of service of GoFundMe, you cannot do a GoFundMe for anything criminal. Yours is for criminal, Betty. I don't know. It's up to GoFundMe. I wouldn't have reported, but I understand he has his rights after you went after his business, his licenses. Just say it.
PI. The plaintiff continues to escalate his harassment, including threatening to contact defendant's clients and all to cause him reputational and economic harm, and to contact his parents to get him forced evaluated while alleging the defendant had mental illness on his Twitter, to his Twitter followers. Does this sound familiar? It seems like he's using the same playbook, the unscrupulous, illegal, unlawful playbook from case to case.
What?
Let's listen to the next highlight.
He's got an unscrupulous playbook from case to case. Hey, Dean Shaw. Hey, hella cute. He got hella gameplay.
This was just the plaintiff's latest effort to imprison defendant falsely. Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds just like you. And it mimics a lot of your filing, Betty, your frivolous multiple hundreds of pages filings in your frivolous lawsuit. Yeah, you're so right. It does sound so familiar. It really, I mean, did you just copy and paste this crap? I don't know. She needs a nurse. She needs a nurse. I was going to send her one last year.
Seniors, if you were born before 1969, you can qualify for the.
Here's another one.
Here's another one.
It says,
I'm
this
tell
includes the
myself.
plaintiff's problematic tendencies, such as being verbally abusive to dozens of vulnerable women, psychologically lying, and frequently contradicting claims, reported threats, and death wishes toward others.
I rest my case. I totally rest my freaking case. Who is she reading about her? Exactly, mystery. Hey, nope, not today. Unbelievable. It's like her autobiography.
Manipulative tactics and narratives, and fabricating professional licensure, to name a few. Wow.
Wow.
Let's read the next highlighted part.
No, you highlighted them or he did. The court did not, Betty. This was a letter written to the court by somebody who defaulted on his lawsuit. But this is you. I mean, this is you. Hey, everybody coming in, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up, sub up if you're not subbed up. We also have channel memberships if you'd like to become a misfit like the rest of us. Best misfits around. Betty knows. Betty says she's not a boss. Well, we know that.
The defendant's knowledge at the time of filing this, only the state of Tennessee closed the defendant's complaint without investigating. I had an investigation on my complaint, while others are still under
You mean your frivolous complaint you filed against him and it was found to be garbage? You going real life going after somebody's business, Betty, because your little feels got hurt? Aww.
Investigation. Let's go to the next highlighted part. The defendant agrees that the plaintiff was never fired from these missing person case because he was never hired for them. And he knows this, but this is another attempt to mislead the courts. Instead, the plaintiff inserts and embeds himself into
And you don't think that he would have to show evidence, proof of the court that he was retained? He would have to stop it.
Of missing persons, even admitted to stalking out the real life's physical location of one family, preys on another family's desperation, sells himself as a professionally licensed private investigator where he often isn't licensed and obtains information under false pretenses. The plaintiff then engages in unprofessional, irresponsible, reckless, abusive, defamatory, and sometimes other unlawful conduct.
I'm telling you, this is everything that's in Betty's frivolous lawsuit. This is wild. This is wild.
Sounds pretty familiar.
Me too, Catherine.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I've reviewed the lawsuit. It really does. It sounds just like you and your frivolous stuff. I'm loving this. This is great.
Sounds like a pattern of behavior.
She's pointing at SF. Oh, who's she pointing at? I don't know.
The defendant will also highlight again that the plaintiff that provably made allegations about the defendant committing DV, domestic violence, and threatening to post the non-existence charge on Twitter. Sounds really familiar.
Yeah, it sounds exactly what you've done. Maybe not those exact words, but yeah, all this is just like, man, Bet, you got a twin.
Defendant claims that he was a licensed private investigator that donates significant numbers of hours to pro bono or volunteer work to locate missing persons, have multiple holes and contradictions the published statements. He unlawfully promotes himself and performs private investigative services where he was not legally licensed. California was the most evidential. He abused and defamed multiple families of missing persons and their advocates. The defendant will be submitting statements from a few as previously stated. The plaintiff advises himself as a paid investigator online who charges $1,000 per hour, $1,500 per hour, and or $2,000 per hour, which are rates regularly rotated between every few days and weeks, which in and of itself raises a lot of red flags. The plaintiff only claims to be pro bono and volunteer when it comes to legal matters like this, or when trying to justify his unlicensed private investigation activities. Sounds pretty familiar. The defendant at no point attempted an unusual amount of interaction between himself and the plaintiff being the unscrupulous PI. Despite the plaintiff's outrageous claims, the defendant has struggled since March of 2022 to get plaintiff to leave him alone and stop his obsessive tweeting about him. Wow, sounds pretty familiar. The plaintiff knows the defendant has been predominant.
It really does, because you're the one that kept bothering him on Twitter. So yeah, it really does.
Prominently and successfully involved in the missing person advocacy community from its initial start in the summer of 2021, before the plaintiff launched his harassment and defamation campaign of the defendant. Unprovoked, the defendant and the plaintiff had occasional and cordial communication, including the plaintiff asked the defendant for help with his alleged photography website. The defendant publicly stood up for the plaintiff when he was mocked over old photography work. The plaintiff congratulated the defendant for his success in locating a missing woman and reuniting her with her family. The defendant asked the plaintiff for help with missing case, and he publicly and privately agreed to. While the plaintiff claims the defendant began defamation against him with Coty, C-O-T-Y. This is another highlighted part. This is, again, sounds very familiar. The plaintiff, being the unscrupulous PI, did in fact author and had a third party send Coty Eady a letter blackmailing her to keep quiet. Otherwise, he would release communications that Coty Eady felt could destroy her marriage. Sound familiar? If you don't do what he says, he's going to destroy you. If you don't work with him, he's going to expose you. Sound familiar? The defendant had possession of this digital letter. The plaintiff has admitted publicly to sending this letter to third-party acquaintance, admitted to the defendant that she sent the letter on the plaintiff's behalf, expressing shame for doing so. The plaintiff seems to have lost track of his lies, as he had publicly admitted on Twitter to sending the letter to Coty Eady, and also accidentally tweeting it to his own account himself before deleting it. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds like a...
Yeah, sounds exactly like you. You post shit and you try to delete it and try to make it go away. I don't know about none of this with that stuff. I don't care. It's not my business. It's not yours either. But what I can tell you, this gentleman was the defendant and he defaulted, Betty, because he didn't respond.
Pattern of behavior. She even agrees at one point to file a police report against the plaintiff, which is the unscrupulous PI, noting to the defendant that she was scared of speaking out against him publicly. I am not. He's trash. He's unethical. If you have a story related to this unscrupulous PI, please come forward. Give me an email of your interaction with him and what happened, and we'll turn that over to the attorneys. Please come forward.
You can't turn it over to the attorneys for what, Betty? For what? You're not part of this lawsuit. This lawsuit's already been adjudicated. You can't sue SF. He's done nothing to you. You've done plenty to him. Maybe he filed. Maybe he's gonna file. And you know it. You need. I don't know. But you shouldn't be asking people to do this crap either, because you don't know if you can believe the stuff you're being sent.
And give us that information if you have been a victim of this unscrupulous PI, and we have quite a bit on him. Publicly admitted on Twitter sending this letter to Coty Eady. Was that okay? We read that. And then here's another one. It says she even agreed at one point to file a police report against the plaintiff, noting that the defendant that she
but it was not. And from my understanding, there was no reports. But like I said, that's all I know about it. I could be wrong. I'm going by what the plaintiff has actually stated.
Was scared of speaking out publicly against him. The defendant has documentation for both his communications with Coty Eady and screenshots of similar conversations she's had with others. Seems awfully familiar. The plaintiff, i.e. the unscrupulous PI, continues to make public threats toward Coty Eady even after she deactivated from social media, terrified in fear from initial blackmail letter, which eventually influenced her to change her public story. Sad. I can tell you, there's nothing that man can do to make me shut up about his horrible business.
Know what to do with a whiteboard, Remy?
Practices. It's unlawful, it's illegal, and he should be in jail. Never mind the fact that he impersonated a person.
He should be
and filed.
He should be in jail for what? You were projecting. You know you're the one that should be, because of your repeated violations of protection orders. But you know, the law will handle that. What did he do exactly that he should be in jail for?
A federal document against me in a federal court, acting as another person and lying under oath saying he was a different person altogether when it was totally him doing it. He had control.
No, he assisted the lady. It wasn't in his name, it's in hers. He assisted her because she didn't understand the process or something. But no, it wasn't him. It was the actual lady you stole the video from. You know, the Facebook video you stole. Yeah, that thing. You still have to answer for that, don't you, Betty? Yeah.
Upload the email. He's the one that filed the paperwork. He's the one that signed that attesting under oath that he is a woman and not a man.
Nope, you're a liar. Tell the truth, Betty. Yes, he did help her to file it.
Unscrupulous.
He has said that from day. Oh, pause on point. I need a screenshot of that. That is pause on point there. Oh, Slim Jim, hey, how are you? Oh, thank you for the $9.99. It's so good to see you. That is a good pause. But that all was said in the beginning when they filed the federal copyright. The woman who she took the video from is the one who filed the federal copyright. Did SF assist her? Absolutely. Did he say he was a woman and sign those papers and say, yeah, no. Prove that, Betty. Prove that one.
Unlawful and should be held accountable for his actions. Just saying. The plaintiff continued to make public threats. Oh, the blackmail. The plaintiff has used her changed story to continuously defame the defendant. As many female
you
victims
said you tried clove oil. Do you have any cloves even in the spice jar? If you do, just take one out and put it on there. It's a natural anesthetic in dental. I mean, it's part of the anesthesia and things they use in dental. But yeah, if the oil itself didn't work, try just taking a clove out of your spice jar and putting it in there. It's going to taste nasty, but I'll tell you what, when I got my daughter, it was sad. Her teeth were bad. They were bad. She had to have dental surgery. She had to have teeth removed and everything. It took a year because, you know, the virus hit, and it took a year for the case to be adjudicated. It was just a whole nightmare. I fought for a year. And that's what she lived on those things. A girl hurt all the time. She was constantly battling abscess after abscess. It was awful. And now her teeth are beautiful. Those were her baby teeth, thankfully. Yeah, it was sad. I never seen in all my years, I never seen a 4-year-old with just black stubs for teeth. And there was like 6 of them they had to cut out. And they capped 4. And it was awful. Dental pain sucks.
Of abuse men can attest to, and as Cody Eady confirms to the defendant and other privately, she's changed her story to try to make this all go away, fearing her safety from the plaintiff.
Betty, what is on your eye? Is that your eye makeup? Okay.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The defendant.
I don't know what filter she was using yesterday, but it was a hella good filter. She needs to use that a lot more often. I want to know what filter she was using, because damn.
Was in his constitutional rights to file a police report, given that the plaintiff would not stop stalking, harassing, insulting, defaming, threatening, and doxing his private information online, all of which the plaintiff escalated over time. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The defendant has never posed as law enforcement official despite the plaintiff's claim. The defendant believes that the
toothaches are awful. Dries out all that stuff. mild pain is the worst. Seriously, just try clove. If the clove oil itself didn't help, just try the actual clove.
Plaintiff fabricated this allegation to distract from his
I noticed she had some, I don't know if it was the filter she was
unlawful
using or if she actually had lashes on, but that was a good filter.
promotion of himself as a licensed private investigator where he was not licensed, and his unlawful offer to minors in an active investigation, which
ouch.
the court may find to be impersonation of a police officer. The defendant never claimed that the plaintiff,
Right.
Plaintiff worked under him. The defendant did, however, invite the plaintiff into the case that he had expressed permission from the family and local police detectives to be involved in, and subsequently had committed commitment from the plaintiff to help him on after the defendant. I can't remember. I can't read the rest of that, but it cut off. But you guys see, it sounds all very, very familiar.
It does.
The plaintiff attempted.
Betty, I keep telling you this, but I'm going to fast forward because I'm over this. I want to get to your last little rant here, but it does sound very familiar. It sounds, hey Andy, it sounds like her frivolous lawsuit, in my opinion. Just my opinion.
Attempts to continue to bully the defendant with his lawsuit by suggesting he couldn't find any friends of the defendant, that he needed mental health treatment. The plaintiff knows he could have reached out. This communist county is violating my rights.
Oh, here we go.
Victims in Tennessee, all of them since 2020 found.
Look at her. She thinks she's doing something.
Just saying.
Just saying that.
Just saying. In Tennessee have been found. Nobody's been held accountable, and all four are, of course, in Tennessee.
So,
just saying.
Betty, you know how many are missing from Florida? Your home state, Betty? Do you know how many are missing in other states, Betty?
Saying. All of them are in Tennessee. I know you guys can't see it, but it says justice for Sebastian up there. It says justice for Sebastian. I guess I'm gonna have to make the bubble letters. I was hoping it'd come in clear, but it didn't. So I'll make bigger bubble letters and color them in so we can see it a little better. All right, so getting on to our meat and potatoes of this. I thought it was, I think we should hear Silver's on the scene. This is the visit to the job site, the stepfather's job site. And no, it's not stalking to follow the leads of a case, a public interest case. Everybody else is allowed to go to these places.
Betty, you are not law enforcement. He is not a prime suspect in any case. You are not mainstream media. You were stalking and harassing him, and that is harassment, Betty. That's why you have 4 protection orders against you right now. And that's why you have 6 violations, criminal violations that you have to answer to in 19 days. Keep firing attorneys, Betty. Did he really did you fire him, or did he walk away? Or did you have a mutual agreement of just because you couldn't behave yourself? Or was he not being paid? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like you'd fire him, Betty. Nah, yeah, you would. But you know what I mean, Betty. I'm trying to give you a little credit here. Probably shouldn't.
But Bullhornbetty. I find it disgusting. I find they're violent, that this communist county is violating my rights right and left. Other people can do it. not be charged or held accountable, but somehow when I do it and don't talk to anybody, I am stalking and harassing people. I can't be harassing people if I'm not talking to them. If they
Yes,
choose to
you were harassing and stalking. You set up Mr. Bowersox. You knew where he was, and you laid in wait. That man was not following you, Betty. It's the other way around. You only put up plastered your flyers immediately around their homes while trespassing on their property. Seen video proof of that. Yeah, you thought it was funny to joke about a gun. And a machete. But yeah, and you sent people out
come over
to follow
to
these
my
people to get you pictures and videos of them. You yourself printed up his picture and was taking it into businesses telling them he had something to do with his stepson's disappearance or was responsible for. Your own words. So yeah, I think that's harassment and stalking, Betty.
Show and choose to watch it. That's the choice that they're choosing to make. They can't blame me for what's coming out of my mouth. I have a right to say whatever the hell I want to say in America, and I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say.
No, you do not. You do not have the right to trample all over someone else's rights. You do not have the right to threaten, stalk, and harass people the way you do, to attack victims' families the way you do. The Constitution doesn't protect you against breaking the law, Betty. And when you exercise your First Amendment rights and you abuse them, there is consequences for that. And it's about time you get it. You understand it. Because you've been doing it far too long. In my opinion. Allegedly.
Say in America, and if I go too far, guess what they can do? They can sue me for defamation, but they better bring their ass to Florida instead of trying to do all
no,
this.
No, he didn't. I've seen the videos. The videos have been debunked. It was not him.
Stuff in Tennessee unlawfully. They're trying to shut me up through protective orders.
And that is his own town. It's a very small town. She'd already been to his home. She'd already been to his stepson's home.
Perceive as defamation. And it's co-signed by an idiot judge.
Yikes.
I'm so sick of this place. But they're so scared of me, they keep dragging me back there. So I've decided
Betty, Sumner County is not scary. Trust and believe that. Do you know what you are in Sumner County? Just another idiot that has a docket that's going to face a judge. That's it. That's all.
To rent a place, I'm going to become a taxpayer, and I'm going to be making sure that I'm there to vote in their freaking their votes in 2026 and in 2028. I'm absolutely going to be a voter in Sumner County. I don't think they know me too well, right? I don't threaten people, and I don't need harm or violence to do.
You don't threaten people? You repeatedly threatened the judge that he won't be reelected. And repeatedly attacked the sheriff, the head honcho, the police chief, that you were going to make sure he didn't have a career anymore. What do you mean you don't? You threaten people all the time. You go after people's jobs. That police chief, that sheriff did nothing to you, Betty, but follow the law. You broke the law. You deal with the consequences. They were your choices, no one else's. Keep it up, Eddie. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Do what I need to do, but I am an American, and I'll be damned if my government's going to try to control me when I'm not breaking the freaking law. Damned.
You did. You were given protection orders so these people could have some peace. You chose to ignore those protection orders, to violate them because you think you're above the law. You think you comprehend the Constitution and the laws. And Betty, you don't. You don't. This is all on you, Bedster. All on you.
Just saying.
Of Christopher
Hey,
Crawford.
DJ.
Oh, let me stop. Hold on. One thing. Let me jump in here. What I was told, and everything in here is allegedly, in my opinion. So I was told information. I'm about to
Now
share.
listen to
I
this.
think it's big. I think it's huge.
Listen to this, because I'm going to remind you of what they have been stating all along. And Betty has been very forceful about it. Griff, what's Quentin? Yep.
I was told information by a co-worker of Christopher Crawford's. So I'm taking that information, I'm sharing it. I'm not going to share any names, okay? There's a couple of details. I'm not going to get too specific. I'll get specific enough you'll understand. But just to make sure, you know, there's no blowback back to the person I spoke to.
Hey, Melinda.
But here's the big thing. I'm going to take what I was told and then I'm going to put my spin on it, right? Someone says this and I'm going to tell you what I think about that.
Yeah, because Betty waved the police officer down. We heard the dispatch radio call. Betty was not pulled over. And we saw Betty on her own live, on her own video, waving the police officer down. So then he went down, turned around, and came up behind her. But even on the dispatch, it said she was not pulled over.
And that's allegedly, in my opinion. And I may repeat that throughout the video, but
I will not repeat it throughout the video. It's in my disclaimers. It's always been in my disclaimers, in my description. It is what it is. I go out, I look at things, I report back what I find. People can take it as fact. They can take it as opinion. It doesn't matter to me. But for my statements, and actually, you know, a lot of the stuff that we find out where people have already told law
I wish I
enforcement.
could remember who put out that little video, that short video, that proved that they were claiming it was Terry Bowersock's car following Betty. It was not even his car. I will find it and I will play it. Now,
taken as fact. This person has spoken to law enforcement about the stepfather. So whether they want to release the information or not, they can't
we
say.
don't know if any of this is factual. Okay. First off, Betty's been saying that he was at the job site at 5:15. That's what Betty's been stating. They've all been saying, hey, Griffle, all this time. Also, the story changed from where he talked to someone, and then it was I walked up and talked to someone, but the person he was supposed to talk to wouldn't talk to him. So, guys, I don't know why I'm coughing so much. I think I need my inhaler.
It's a lie, or otherwise prove it. Show me it's a lie.
Betty, law enforcement knows where Chris was, what time he was there. They know everything. You don't need to know. You're not relevant in the case.
also taking what I was told is allegedly in their opinion. However, they interacted directly with him as they worked with him.
Yeah,
So just want to throw that up there. So that's where we're at. And
sorry, but anybody that would go to you people, especially you look like Papa Smurf. But anybody that would go to you people and talk shit about them, about him, pretty much sums it up for me.
And back to, we will not forget you, Sebastian. That's a promise. You're going to see how relevant that is and what I'm about to share with you. So the job site, as you know, in my video of searching in Memphis, as well as yesterday's recount where I talked about Memphis, I really didn't even know I was going to go by the job site when GPS was taking me to my location to search. Did not know I was going by the job site, and there it is. And you see the cranes, right? We know Chris was a
Just
crane.
be careful, Silvers, because I'm just saying they're going to be coming after you next for stalking and harassment because you're reporting information.
No, you people are YouTubers. That's it. You have no business inserting yourself into these people's real lives. You have no business going to their job sites, their high schools, the neighborhoods they grew up in. It's none of your business. And it doesn't pertain to the case, period.
On your YouTube channel, and they like to stalk people and blame people for stalking them when it's really just the opposite. So just be careful, my friend. Just be careful.
Tower crane.
You were not stalked, Betty. You were there harassing that family. You knew Mr. Bowersox was in that store. You found his car in that parking lot because you had people there assisting you. You know what I'm talking about, Betty. You put a flyer up by his car and you laid in wait. Period. You did not have to pull out like a bat out of hell, get behind him, jump out of your damn car when it's hardly in gear, and carry on like a wild banshee and verbally assault that man. And you would have took off after him. You tried. You tried to take off after him and continue following him. You got caught by the light.
An operator, right? And so he worked on one of those cranes. Now, this is big. Information from the job site. Chris Proudfoot job site. Did you know? Because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I put the did you know in there because I don't think I knew any of these things. I knew things related to them, but you're about to see what I was told. I did not know this. And after being told these, I got very emotional, and I'll explain that when I cover everything.
Now, you all know that Betty's going to be doing an interview with him, right? At least she wants to.
I was told, but did you know? So as you listen to these things, did you know these things? Because we won't forget you, Tim. But did others forget you?
Wow.
Allegedly,
very powerful information.
Yes, they did. So let's dive into it, right? Let's dive into it. Let's not waste any time.
It's fluff. He's talking fluff, Betty. He's not giving you no information.
You know, I watch YouTube videos and I go, like this, okay? So what I'm going to do is right here. No.
Let me just, okay.
We
I'm
go
not
through.
Watching this. I'm not watching this.
I want to keep Sebastian over here. So
I want to go into her last rant.
What did I?
I'm not going over
about it. You didn't. You.
I don't think Chris, out of his own.
Our stepson, my stepson, want everybody know I and say I have this missing, like, of where you're not married. You got a show of hands because we just got out of the late.
Sorry, guys. If you want to review that Silvers footage, we will, but not tonight. Because I need to get my head straight for that because I know he's full of shit. Because first it was, Betty's been hammering the 5:15 a.m. Well, now with Silvers, she's changing that up. Also, they couldn't make up their mind. He was meeting someone, or they walked up to someone, and then that person didn't want to talk to him. Blah blah blah. I want to be able to show the clips of what really happened. It's on YouTube. It's out there. Whose chat did we hear that in? They spent hours going through those dispatch calls.
Lonnie trial, and they're trying to blame.
But
Daniel
Betty did wave the officer down, and she even admitted it, and you could see her doing it.
Youngkin for this child's Daniel. He didn't even clock out. He ran out of the building. Now, mind you, Quentin was not his son. Got in his on with his stepson, because they're not married. You know, it really wasn't a stepson, but he had a step-parent role in Quentin's life.
This has nothing to do
And
with
then you
Sebastian.
have this polar opposite of where this step-parent.
You don't have a polar opposite because these cases had nothing to do with each other.
Sat there and worked and kept it all hush hush.
No, he didn't keep it hush hush, Betty. The only people that needed to know were his immediate supervisors. And Betty, when you're on a big construction site like that and you're on a crane, you can't just shut down and climb down. It doesn't work like that. Also, Chris himself has said it many times. You have to have your replacement there. You don't understand the workings of a construction site that size or the cranes, Betty.
Like, I don't know any parent or step-parent that's missing a child that wouldn't go and pull their manager aside and say, I have a private matter that's going on in my house and I don't want everybody knowing about, but we don't know if our stepson, you know, my stepson ran away from home or if something bad happened to him, but I need to go home and I need to go home now. Do you have anybody to cover me? You know, that's kind of how the conversation went. We've all had tragedies go on in our family. We've all had things that happen while we were at work, especially if you're a parent or a grandparent. Something has happened that you needed to leave right then and there.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and anything related to your work, your documents.
Right then
and you're also not understanding that they didn't think it was going to be what it is now. They thought that he just wandered off or went to a friend's house or something. They didn't think that they wouldn't bind him, Betty. You're also not including that because it doesn't fit your narrative. But there's multiple reasons. And when you're on those cranes, like I keep saying, you can't just shut it down and jump off.
Here, you didn't lie to your manager about it. You didn't, you didn't, broadcast it to the whole company, but you let your.
No, you don't. The people that needed to know knew. His supervisor.
Supervisor.
The big shits at the job site. That's who needed to know. No one else. And how could he go and tell everybody, Betty, when he was up in the crane? You're such an idiot.
Know that something's going on and you have to leave for the day. And what needs to happen to accomplish that goal? You've got to go. What you don't want to leave
it was a conversation they were having. He was being asked questions. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what I mean. No, this is at the very beginning, the day it happened, the day he ran away. They didn't think it was going to be this, Betty. They really thought their son was going to be found fairly quickly and brought home. I'm sure any parent would think that. Not everybody has a mind like yours that goes to the worst case scenario.
Crane unmanned, what do we need to do here? That was not discussed. He wanted it hush hush at work. And
it's none of nobody's business. Because at the time, they just thought he was there somewhere in the neighborhood, Betty. And it was nobody's business.
Let's talk about the behavior we learned from the news reporters. So I'm going to take this as fact because I don't see why the news reporters would lie about this.
Oh my Lord.
And we have a news organization saying when he arrived home, he told them not to videotape his home.
And he has every right to that. I wouldn't have want my home itself put all over either. And they have every right to that. I'm not sure what was going down about it, but they have every right to do that.
Seems like he really wanted to be hush hush.
No, Betty. He has another child that stays there that needs to be protected. He didn't want his house all over the news so people could know exactly what house they live in. I get why he didn't. I totally get it.
That morning, when seconds and minutes matter.
Who knows
when a
today,
child
Gray Pearl?
disappears.
Everything changes.
Their life depends on those seconds and minutes. And every time you withhold this child from the news or withhold this information from the news, it's putting that child at a disadvantage.
Them filming their home would not make a difference in bringing Sebastian home. They could still do their work. They just didn't want them to actually film the actual home, Betty.
Parent wouldn't be screaming from the rooftops that their child is missing and everybody needs to be looking for him. In this case, they were literally telling the news not to show the house and not to talk about it, basically.
No, they never. You're a liar. They never told him not to talk about it. They did not want their home showed, if that's even true. And that's okay. But they never told him not to talk about it. Quit misleading your audience.
I've never, in all of my years watching true crime, and the several years I've been covering true crime, this is a first for me personally. An absolute first for me.
Right. And I've said it since Tony and Seth got on board. It's the first time you've ever had a parent co-signing and encouraging your atrocious behavior, attacking the other parent, spreading misinformation and outright lying. It's the first time you've had these numbers, Betty. You're right.
So let's think. Sebastian Rogers. I'm
Stepfather, so they didn't know that he around were telling me the truth, and his wait for that conversation for part of the crane crew. And Silver's on the scene for that video, but what eye-opening that was, and I know we've known this information in multiple times. Like, we've heard from people on the ground, multiple people that I was out front of there. I was across the street on one of the side roads. Like, they have the big project, then they have the main road, and then it's a side street right in front of the gate where they had the trailers that were either storage or offices or something like that, and there's a big gate around it. I was away from the job site over there, but people were parking, getting there early and parking on those side streets to get a parking spot. And so they were there early. And so they were standing around and were willing to talk to me. And that's when I found out this information myself. Well, now he's talked to, so I talked to several people.
Okay. That's not, Betty, I'm going to go back and I'm going to find the clip of what else she said, how she's changed it up now. I'm going to go back and find it, and I'm going to put it out.
About it. They've confirmed it. That's why I went ahead and I had no problem telling my audience about it.
Betty, it was 5 months later. Any construction site, but big construction sites have different phases. It was 5 months later, different season, whole different time of day. Stop it. I don't believe anybody with any truth or substance told you anything. I don't. You may have tried to get information. It's a huge construction site. They may not have even known who Chris was. He didn't work down on the ground with the crews. He worked up in a crane solo. That's a solo job, Betty. You're by yourself all those hours. It's not an easy process climbing up there and starting them cranes and then shutting them down and climbing back down. You stay there.
And corroborated and confirmed by multiple people. To me, it's fact, it's true. Then we had Silvers go out there and speak to...
Where's it been corroborated? How can you prove who these people are and that they actually know Chris? You've never shown any proof, Betty. Just your words. And even judges keep telling you, just because you say it, don't make it so.
A direct supervisor of someone, somebody of higher up than the people I spoke to. I spoke to the labor pool. I spoke to the people that were going inside and working in the building on the first floor under the lights. The people that do arrive there early. And so those were the people I was speaking to. Well, he spoke to somebody that was part of.
Oh, that's right. She did tell the judge she didn't talk to anyone. I'm making some notes so I remember. Betty's claims on talking to CP's co-workers at jobs. I'm making notes so I don't forget. I'm gonna find these clips
of the crane crew and the management of that. And so now we have several people I spoke to telling me the same exact thing that this person is telling Silver's on the scene. To me, that's fact. To me, that's corroboration. To me, that's multiple witnesses, multiple people saying the same exact story that have no connection to one another. That's huge.
No, it's not.
That is absolutely.
No, it's not, because you can't vet none of that. It is not huge. You are not doing a better job than law enforcement because they pulled out all the stops. You don't know how to run an investigation. You are not law enforcement. Stop it.
Huge.
Huge.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you.
Terrible.
I got a friend.
Look at this little girl. She's just.
Well, you're gonna be pissed. You were gonna be pissed. She's gonna be pissed about JLR getting his lady a puppy, and then she's gonna say, "See, they can't get over me. They can't let me go. They had to copy me and go get a puppy." You know that's what she's gonna say. Oh, they're just trying to poke at me. They can't, they have to be like me. She just wants everything in my life. She just wants my life. She wants to wear my skin. I can hear it all now.
Brat is 6 whole pounds. Those are things that we need to take. It's just like, wow.
Right.
Video, but I'm looking at our time and I realize related to the dinner on Sunday night. So I think what we'll do is we'll wait for that confirmed from Silver's on the scene so far, what his work revealed, and go back to my work at that and listen to
absolutely nothing. The man has nothing. He is spreading misinformation just like you.
Exactly what I said. Standing out on that side road in front of his St. Jude's job. Oh, thank you, Gypsy. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. I want you to go back
before you were at the gate, and they went through the gate and didn't want to talk to you. I don't know. I'm gonna find it though.
Because it's titled. You'll see it. I've got the picture of his job in the thumbnail. So go back and listen to it. And I want you to hear what I tell you guys in that video. And then I want you to go back to the Silver's on the scene video and re-listen to that. How are we getting this? I'm not affiliated.
You can't make a spouse testify against another spouse. You can't do it. Not in the U.S. It's okay. No, she writes in all caps because she has to, Great Pearl. Yeah, so she can see.
Silver's on the scene. I don't know the guy personally. I've not talked to the guy personally. I think I've had.
If a spouse chooses to testify against you, there's no law stopping them. I mean, the other side could try to say marital, spousal privilege, stuff like that. I don't know. I've never really looked into it. But I know they can't make a spouse testify against a spouse,
Maybe one interaction with this man by email. I don't know him. How in the world can him and I have this?
Exactly. So how in the world can you sit up here and accuse this man of murder, of doing horrific things to his stepson, whom he loves very much? You've accused him of all kinds of things, Betty. And you know nothing about him. Though you've dug and harassed his whole entire life back to his high school in the town he grew up in. And one of the things they did that really pissed me off is when Sonia went into that school and kept her phone recording. I don't care that she didn't show no kids' faces. You could still see their legs and feet. You knew the kids were there, and you could also hear them. And she never let the lady at the desk, the receptionist, she never let her know she was recording. Because that wouldn't have been accepted, and she knows it. And hell yeah, if it was my kid's school, I'd have a problem with it. That was wrong, period, in my opinion.
Same exact story. When we have no affiliation with each other, we don't talk to each other, and we're both out at this job site and have
she's talking about Silvers? Yeah, he's like the male version of you. As far as spreading misinformation and outright lies on cases. Yeah, because he's done that here. The dude is obsessed and delusional. You both live in a distorted reality. This is his reality show. He always wanted to be on TV. We've seen that. Granny's watching, did an awesome live about it. Didn't know about all the other channels he had and all his shenanigans. Didn't know about none of that. Pretty interesting, really. Funny. But yeah, he's finally got his starring role that he's always wanted. His YouTube channel. And he puts on an act all the time. In my opinion. Allegedly,
Exact story? The same exact story? That doesn't happen. That means the people on the ground were telling me the truth. And
I don't believe it's the same stories, Betty. I don't believe you were getting any credible information from anybody.
A supervisor or whoever, hey, Mr. and Mrs.
In no way a
E.
supervisor was talking
nice
to her.
See you, loves. Almost spitting image statement.
I don't understand that, Mr. and Mrs. E. They try to portray themselves as these righteous people, but they support trash buckets like this. Crime tourists, tragedy pimps, trauma vultures, whatever you want to call them. Exploiters. I don't understand it.
Statements. I think my statement was all next to verbatim.
Wow,
next to verbatim. If you guys
do?
don't see, I got my whiteboard in use. It says "Justice for Sebastian." I have to make the words right in the. I love the whiteboard. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I got plans for the whiteboard. I got plans for the whiteboard.
She actually got a whiteboard.
But that's
She
just
actually
really
is gonna
interesting.
learn how to use a whiteboard. Who's she copying? But she don't watch nobody, right?
Find out some more information though than I did. Okay, and that
I
was
seen your comment earlier in chat about it. I just laughed about it because I didn't even notice.
the people I spoke to didn't know this guy. They crew wouldn't be there. But they get there between 6:30 and 6:45. He confirmed 6:30 for this man. I had more of a general time frame, not a specific time frame. I was told that if anybody got there at 5:15 and started crawling up those cranes, they would be calling law enforcement because nobody is supposed to be up those cranes. They wouldn't even have any knowledge that somebody would be up those. They would think somebody broke in on the job site, right? So seeing somebody, that's the way it was told.
Oh, it says a spouse may waive their privilege if they don't attest their spouse's testimony when provided. A privilege waiver may also happen if either spouse discloses a confidential spousal communication to someone else. Wow. Spousal privilege does not apply if one spouse is charged with a crime against the other or their children. In these cases, either party may be called upon to testify. Yeah. Yes, spouses can testify against each other in the U.S., but there are some restrictions. Spousal testimony privilege. In criminal cases, a spouse can choose to testify against their spouse, but they cannot be forced to do so. This privilege only applies to events that happen during a valid marriage. It doesn't apply if the spouses are suing each other in a civil case or if one spouse initiates a criminal proceeding against the other. Spousal communications privilege. Spouses can refuse to disclose or prevent others from disclosing confidential communications between them during their marriage. This privilege generally survives the end of a marriage, but communications made after the marriage ends are not protected. I was just going over that because there was a question. There was questions in chat about spousal privilege and stuff. Sorry for the sidebar.
To me, nobody goes up the crane that early. And if anybody saw,
you don't know what time he went up the crane. It's really not your business. You can bet law enforcement knows because there's a record of that crane. Everything with that crane, you can bet on that.
Anybody walking up the crane that early, they would be stopping them and asking them questions because they don't know why anybody would be going up the crane. That's how it was kind of couched to me. Not verbatim. I can't remember exactly what was said. I didn't record the conversations. I just had the conversations with these people.
Okay, you believe Betty didn't have conversations and didn't record them. Does she think we're stupid? Does she think we're like bobbleheads at night or something? Betty didn't record a conversation. Bull. So Betty cannot vet these people. She has no idea if they even knew anything about Chris. Or if it's even the same crew. See, this how it was 5 months later. Wow. Okay, Betty.
Just to get the information, because I wanted the information more than I wanted the video. And so that's how it was couched to me. And now, Silvers went a step further and found out that he was there at 6:30, and that he never reported, because they didn't know the stepfather, so they didn't know that he had not reported. I never even thought to ask whether or not he reported his stepson missing or not.
The whole job site wouldn't know about it regardless, Betty. It's a huge job site. And they didn't even know Chris. You just said that. The only people that needed to know were the bosses. And at that point, all they thought is that he just was local in the neighborhood. Like, he ran away, wandered off. That's all. They didn't think it was going to be this, Betty. God, you're such an idiot.
But we did find out from Silvers in this this report that he did that nobody even knew until after he left it.
That's a good comment. She and her team are living proof that minds truly are a terrible thing to waste.
His son was missing. And then it reminded me about the
they're not, number one, it's a huge job site. Chris spent the bulk of his time up in that crane by himself. And they really just thought that they had no idea it was going to turn into what it turned into, or that he wouldn't be home. Chris probably thought he'd be home before he even got down off the crane. You know what I mean? Hey, Misty Day, good to see you. It's just craziness, man. This is just... and to me, all that matters is that law enforcement knows where he was and his times. The important people.
He was approached in an interview asking why was he screaming at the news reporters to not record his house?
He wasn't screaming. I wouldn't have he has other children to protect, Betty. He has a family to protect, Betty. He didn't say they couldn't do the story. He just didn't want his house filmed, according to you, allegedly.
And he's like, well, I wasn't screaming at him. I just went up there and just asked her if she'd please not get my house in the camera shot.
And what is wrong with that? She just made my point for me. That's all he stated. He wasn't screaming like she said. Of course, Betty will manipulate and twist it just like they all do. Griff me, the junior Betty. Because, if Betty does go, in the 9x12 for a few days, Betty Jr. old Griff me's ready to take her place.
That is bizarre and out of character for anybody missing a child. Nobody acts like that.
You can't say that. You don't know how he acted. You weren't there. I also understand him not wanting his home itself there. You don't know how a parent's going to act. Everybody reacts differently, Betty. You wouldn't have a clue. You don't have children. So you could never even think, imagine. And you can, even if you did, you can imagine till you're blue in the face, but till you walk in them shoes and it actually happens to you, you don't know. You don't know.
Nobody hides the fact that they have a missing child unless there's something to hide, in my opinion. And I'm entitled to my damn opinion.
You don't state it as opinion. You state things as facts. You'll say, I 100% can tell you, or I'm 100%, or it's factual because it's coming from you. This is what your own statement was. It's factual because it's coming from you. But that doesn't mean where you got it from is factual. Yeah, you said that, Betty.
And portions of communist America are just going to have to deal with people are entitled to their own opinions.
America.
Just saying.
You broke the law and you're pissed because you're finally being held accountable. So they're communist. Okay, Betty. Keep talking about the judge's grandkids, Betty. See what happens to your ass. They're not going to play with you messing with a judge's family. They're not. In any state or county, anywhere.
Remind everybody, I'm not bossy. I'm just aggressively helpful. And if you're not bossy and just aggressively helpful, please hit ups.
Helpful? Who've you helped? Besides yourself.
Sonia. She's got the I'm not bossy, I'm aggressively. I'm not bossy.
All right. That's it. I think she's done.
Set on a picture perfect.
I think she's about done.
And call this person, and we want to make this as loud as we can possibly do. I need my child back. I need my child back. And here you're like, well, don't use our name, and can you keep our house out of it?
He never said none of this stuff. Quit lying to your people. All he said is he didn't want his house shown to protect his family. It's his right.
Don't tell the bosses, just shh.
Aggressively hateful.
That is flipping nuts.
No, you're flipping nuts. You're sitting here misinforming people. You outright lied to them, Betty, about these people that you don't know. They're the parents of a missing child. Give them some grace. Show some grace. Seth, man, you gotta wake up.
You're not allowed to have an opinion, because good gracious, you have an opinion about it.
You don't state it as opinion, you state it as fact.
Or you stand on a channel and talk about it. The people that work for the mom and the stepdad, the police and the courts, they're going to throw you in jail.
No, they don't work for the Proudfoots, Betty. They work for the county and state. They have laws. You broke those laws. That's all on you, hon. All on you.
They will throw you in jail and make up a reason why to do it, even though you've done nothing wrong. It's kind of a sick, twisted game.
But you have. That county. But you have.
And I'm playing it.
Oh.
And it sucks.
Oh.
But I'm still going to condemn them. I'm still going to criticize them. And I'm still going to talk about the case. And if they want to throw me in jail for exercising my American rights, I will do my time with my head held high. I'll be damned. I will be damned. I will be damned. So
you just may.
Silvers, I'm glad you're a resident of Tennessee. Maybe they'll treat you a little more fairly than they did me. I hope that you don't.
Not if he pulls the same crap you do. No. Betty, you had a chance to stand up and fight the protection orders. You chose not to. You chose not to show up in court, not once, not twice. You chose that. You thought this you could just pull a Betty and you know everything and about the law, and you don't. You were served with the orders. You chose to violate said orders. No one else. Multiple times, and you are still violating them. I don't know what's going to happen with you, but man, you going at the judge's grandkids. You're going at the county. I mean, Betty, you're running your mouth too much. Just admit you're worried that you may end up in jail. And that's probably why you and your attorney parted ways. It's going to be hard for any attorney to work with you.
Have to deal with what I have to deal with. But if
you cause it, Betty, you created all of this.
You do, we will be there raising our voice for you. I will tell you that. Keep up the great work. We're going to continue to monitor your channel, and we're going to continue to get the great work that you're doing. This is a reminder that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, which disappeared on February 26, 2024, and has not been seen or heard from again, there is a $125,000 reward.
No, there is a $50,000 reward that has been proven to be in effect by the FBI. The $75,000, there's been no receipts for. Hey, Deb. But
as well as Dog the Bounty Hunter and Nick the Hat's team.
They've done nothing but cause more chaos. They've done nothing to help or find Sebastian.
To help raise awareness,
in my opinion,
and to get this case solved. If you have any firsthand knowledge, you want to be anonymous, reach out to 833-TELL-DOG. If you have any information, that credible tips, credible information, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Firsthand knowledge, and you just want to help solve this case and bring this boy home, please reach out to your local FBI or the Memphis FBI, or just pick up the phone and call 911, which is what the parents should have done and didn't. Why? More questions without answers. We'll keep digging in.
They did. They didn't think he was, missing like that, Betty. Actually, law enforcement was on this case rather quickly. I mean, super quickly. So there's that,
Into this case, we will keep investigating this case, and we will keep reporting our findings to our audience. I want to thank
you're gonna keep pushing. You really think you're being a martyr? You really think that you are being a martyr and that you're helping Sebastian? Betty, you're not. Nobody even wants to talk about Sebastian anymore. Nobody. Because of all you people and all this crap. It's not even about Sebastian anymore. It's about all the drama. Hey, the bully. It's about the drama. Listen, sister. I love that song. Or that title, that name. It's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah. 18 days. Yeah. It's crazy. I just don't understand it. It's not that I don't understand. I just can't wrap my hand around it. That she really thinks she's being this big martyr and she's making such a difference. And she's, she's doing it all for, and she even said she's doing it for Sebastian. Don't put this on that kid. Your atrocious behavior should never be put on any child, let alone him. Do you really think that he'd want anything to do with you after the horrific things you said and done to his mother? He has a whole family that loves and misses him and wants him home. A whole family. None of this stuff is helping. Man, you don't even see anybody wanting to even just talk about Sebastian. And even with the crap these guys do, it's getting so old that, you know, you're tired of watching them review the same interviews 30,000 times and spew the same hateful crap and then sit there and cry victim. But I never accused them of anything. I was just going over their interviews in their own words. I've never went at the Proudfoots. I've never accused them of anything. I've never went at Seth. I've never accused him of anything. But they have. They've went at the Proudfoots like no other. Seth, a lot of what he gets is because of what he does out here. I don't care what you think or where you're at, but you've got to see the difference. You don't see the Proudfoots going all over YouTube slamming anybody. They chose to put Sebastian first. I wish everyone would do that, but it's not going to happen. Too late for that. Things have gone too far. He's so lost in it, and they won't do it because the money isn't there. You know, let's tell the truth. Hey, Terry. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly, Terry. There was nothing wrong with the way they did. Oh, thank you, Patricia. But I'm gonna get those clips and put what she has said and what she's now switching to, you know, because she's trying to she wants Slithers to come and do an interview. What about his not so great acting career? So since he couldn't get a real role on a TV show or a reality show, whatever, a movie, whatever he wanted, he created his own starring role on YouTube. That poor pup has to listen to that mouth all day. Yeah. Good thing she filmed herself doing all of that. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's her own videos that's evidence against her. I mean, you just handed them their evidence. Thank you. But I only meant to do a short one, and we're actually still on here. I don't remember what time I came on. I think it was like 8:45. Yeah, that's too long. Okay. I most likely won't be on here tomorrow because what we were going to do today got pushed till tomorrow. So if I don't see y'all anywhere tomorrow, y'all have a good rest of your weekend. Be safe out here on these YouTube streets. Have y'all some fun. Please hit that thumbs up if you haven't. If you're not subbed up, sub up. Please share this out. You can join memberships and, you know, you can leave some comments. Let me know what you think in the comments. If there's anything specific you guys want to look at, what I'm going to try to do is try to plan ahead some content and have it, you know, because my schedule is getting crazier right now this time of year. So there's some things you guys want to look at. And one of the things we are going to be looking at, and I've covered it a few times, but the Turtle Boy drama, another creator who's facing criminal charges because of their atrocious behavior. But that's a whole shit show. Oh my God. We're going to be getting into that, and want to give you the a refresher on why he's at where he's at, what he's done, and then we're gonna. Oh, there's so much. Oh my God, the Twitter stuff never stops with them. I miss so much of it. But I get a lot of it too. But yeah. But if there's anything you guys want to do, or any ideas you have, or if you want to look at a locale or something, let me know. let me know. I thank you all for hanging out with me. Spur of the moment live. I didn't give much notice. Thank you, mods. I appreciate you so much. You're awesome. And thank you for the super chats and the memberships. You guys have no idea. Thank you. It means a lot. It really does. But Queen Bee is live. If y'all want to head over there. I'm not sure if anybody else is. I haven't been on. I'm here, so I don't know. But I'll be seeing you on these YouTube streets. Y'all have the good rest of your weekend. Couldn't get the words out. And thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye, all.